Perfection is the enemy of done. Rarely is there a coaching call where this philosophy is not shared. I'd be shocked if you ever saw me speak on stage at your next event where I don't bring up this concept. Yet time and time again, and this just happened earlier this week when I'm coaching a sales professional, an entrepreneur, a loan originator, and I just want to scream from the top of my lungs, get shit done, because perfection is the enemy of done. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we got to get it done. We're going to unpack this philosophy and talk about some real world examples where once embraced, people are able to break through barriers and take their business to new heights. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
Dio, what's poppin'?
Not the intro. You know the best part about the intro? Only you and I know how god-awful it was.
It's because you suck.
I wouldn't say I suck. I would say that we're recording this on a Friday afternoon. It's hot as shit in the office, and I'm a little bit worn out. And your editing skills are off the chain. So you have shown me that you do know how to polish a turd. So sometimes if I give you a turd, I don't have to worry as much that it's not going to turn out as quality when the people
it's fine, man. You know,
consume it.
It's fine. It's Hollywood. It's all smoke and mirrors.
But I just made John's job that much harder. I have a question for you. You just mentioned Hollywood, and it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yes,
do you know anything about the point game when it comes to like if you and I produced a movie, that movie has to generate enough points before it'll like get picked up and published?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah,
it's a whole.
I shared an Uber with a guy coming back from UWM Live, and he was sharing a story about how he invested in his buddy's kid's movie. And by the way, no, he pulled it up. It's a legit, well-done movie that's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, John.
My question, just like the Progressive commercial, how did you share an Uber ride with a stranger, and find out this type of information?
It's a 50-minute ride from Auburn Hills.
You know what I would have done for 50 minutes? Not said a damn word. AirPods in.
That's a fact, because when we were in Chicago, I spent too many hours on Ubers with John. Homeboy wouldn't hold a conversation with me.
I don't understand. You know the Progressive commercials, like you're turning into your parents? I don't understand why people just feel the need to just like, hey, you're a stranger. Let me show you about what I invest in. Here's a picture of my son. It's like, bro, I didn't ask you none of that shit.
You know what he honestly said?
What?
He goes, oh, we're stuck in the car together. Let me pick your brain about how I can build out my process better.
Nope. First of all,
he got like 30 minutes of free coaching. He got 30 minutes of free coaching.
What are you doing sharing an Uber ride?
What's wrong with that? I spent $30
with a stranger?
I spent $30 instead of $60.
It's called Uber X. You get it by yourself. What the fuck?
No. So I was in line and I was like, oh shit, my Uber's 15 minutes away. The guy's like, oh, my guy's on the way here. You want to just jump in with me? I said, you go in the airport? He's like, yeah. I go, cool. I'll ride with you.
God bless your heart for still talking to strangers, Dustin.
That's my job, John.
Oh my God, it's
your
job.
It's what I like to do.
I know, and I guess this is one of those like what do you call it, like positivity episodes where we try to motivate people about like getting up off their ass and getting the job done or some shit. God,
it is
a bunch of slap dicks.
It says who?
Me.
Like we all can't just have a trust fund that we sit back on.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yahtzee, bitch. I don't know what you want me to say. I can't. I roll the dice.
Yeah. No. So no, and some of us, me included, I think regardless of bank accounts and commas and crooked numbers.
Yeah.
Man, the game's just too fun. The game's too fun not to go play life. Yeah, the game of growing and scaling businesses is fun.
Pick up this sponsorship ad, though, real quick.
This episode of the Loan Officer Podcast is brought to you by my friends over at Lower Mortgage. So you've seen them in the news. They've recently acquired Neat Labs. They just made a major splash by buying Movoto. This means they need market leaders in 6 key markets that are currently generating hundreds of real estate purchase leads that are attached to dozens of real estate brokerage relationships. If you are a sales leader in the mortgage industry and you would love to learn more about this opportunity, go ahead and reach out to me directly. That's do@tloponline.com. And I can make sure that I connect you with the right professional over at Lower Mortgage. Again, my email address, do@tlop, that's tloponline.com.
Go ahead, man. Talk about where you got inspiration from today's episode, how you were coaching probably some person and they were doing everything but, let me guess, generating a goddamn lead. They were doing everything under the sun, watering tulips, rearranging their furniture, building out their CRM. And you know what they weren't doing, Dustin? Getting a lead.
Yeah, so today's episode is actually, look, I draw inspiration from my day-to-day.
Right.
And in fact, when we coach y'all realtors and loan officers about content, about what to post, what to talk about, etc. I'm like, it's all around you. If you just turn on your reticular activator, open your eyes, clean out your ears, put your head on a swivel, it's all around you, right? It is all around you. So a lot of times we'll come in and we knew what we were going to bang out the first episode, but we tend to record 2 episodes a week every single week. We've been doing it for 5 years. We plan on doing it for another 7 or 10 years.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, you may get fired, but I'm stuck doing this for 7 or 10 more years.
As soon as you learn how to hit record on them 3 cameras, bro, you don't need me.
It won't be the same without you, John.
It will be the same without me.
You know, the people still ask about you.
Motherfuckers don't even know my name.
But they still want to know. They're, oh, man, he's my spirit animal.
What's his name? JC. I totally forgot, huh? Jesus Christ. No, what? John.
Just John. Anyhow. No, so today's episode was... something that I was inspired after doing a one-on-one, but the one-on-one went so well, it was predictable. Like, loan officers know what I'm talking about. You get that first-time home buyer on the phone, in your sleep, you can predict the questions they're going to ask.
Yeah.
In your sleep, you can predict the objections they're going to have. And if you're any good, you should be jumping out ahead before they ask the question. And you should say to them, hey, I bet you're wondering about X. I'm going to answer it right now.
Oh my God.
I bet you're concerned about Y. Let me go ahead and let you know why you shouldn't be concerned about that. Then they're like, oh my God, you're reading the mind. Oh, you really understand me. No, I do this for a living and you're not that special. And we all are pretty ordinary, at which point with a 80% probability, I can guess where you're getting stuck. And that's the way it is coaching loan officers and coaching branch managers. And I think that's what makes us coaches good, above average, or even great, is our ability to see what they don't see. And we are able to see it weeks, if not months in advance. Therefore, we can shorten the learning curve and we can prevent them from stubbing their toe on whatever that potential issue is going to be. So many times throughout coaching loan originators, whether it's a large group, a small group, or one-on-one, I just find myself wanting to slow down and scream from the top of my lungs, stop thinking and start doing. Stop thinking and start doing, which is crazy because when you're in sales support, right, whether that's a processor, an LOA, a loan partner, it's way different. Right? When I'm managing those types of people, I literally have to remind them, I pay you to think. Like, I don't pay you to come and just push paperwork from A to B, right? That's a $10 or $20 an hour job, not a $30 or a $50 an hour job, the way that a loan partner or a processor, even an LOA could be. So for those people, different personality profile, no, I pay you to think. So if you're not thinking, then you're not earning all the money I'm giving you. But when you're in sales and you're an entrepreneur, no, quit thinking. You do too much time thinking. You do too little time doing. So quit thinking, start doing. And then when I get more frustrated, when the call's starting to run a little bit long or we have to find a way to conclude, I may at that point, when I stand on like the pedestal, the top of the mountain and scream, just get shit done this week. That's what I need you to do. When you get up, I need you to get shit done.
What do they be thinking about, Dustin? Give me an example of what they think about. Like, give me an example.
Everything gets thought about, because at the end of the day, if you truly peel back the layers of the onion, there's fear. It's fear of rejection. It's fear of not being accepted. It's fear of being told no. It's all fear-based, and we are born and genetically predisposed to protect ourselves. So I want to protect my shallow, weak inner self from ever being hurt. So if I just spend all of my time thinking about all they're trying to do is like, how do I prevent something from hurting me? And hurting me is being told no. Hurting me is having someone not accept their invitation. So they will overthink, you name it, everything. And I can go down to gambit, right? So it's your job to get a lead. If you had zero fears, you gave zero fucks, and you knew it was your job to get a lead, you literally would walk the mall.
Yeah, getting leads.
You wouldn't get leads because you find there's nothing but old ladies in silver sneakers that walk the mall anymore, right? Or it's people that you don't want to go hang out with, those types of people that go to malls. But theoretically, you could walk the mall handing out business cards and say, hi, my name is John. I do home loans for a living. This is my contact information. Call me if you need me. Hey, John, hey, by the way, do you have any questions? And you could do that 100 times. I bet you would talk to one person who wanted a home loan. You could go to Home Depot. You could go right outside of that hot dog cart that sits out front of every Home Depot.
Yep.
And you could hang out, eat your $3 hot dog, drink your $2 Mountain Dew, and hand out business cards. Hey, my name is John. I do mortgages for a living. Here's my contact information. Call me if you need something. You may get trespassed, at which point you go to Lowe's.
Yep.
You get trespassed from there, you go to the Home Depot that's 10 miles away.
Then you go to Ace Hardware.
Yeah, you see where I'm going. It's like your job to get a lead. Yet, I'll talk to loan officers, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, how do I do it all? I get all these emails from my investors, and I try to read them all. I said, why?
Investors?
Yeah, like, Freedom Mortgage and A&D Mortgage and UWM. Like, they're all entering their inboxes with some Symmetry, Lending, like all of these program and product updates. I go, if you don't have a lead, you don't need to know programs and products. Like, delete those emails. Have them go into a folder specifically called junk email from investors. And if you ever wanted to go down a rabbit hole, just know that you set up an email rule that they go there. But it's not your job to hop on that training and learn about that new product if you don't have a lead. Like, what good is it for me to know that this new non-QM loan that we rolled out, if I don't have one borrower who needs it? Like, what good does it do me to know the ins and outs of a VA loan if I don't have an active duty military person or a veteran reaching out to me?
Because it's much easier for me to read over these guidelines, pretend to learn them, instead of getting rejected time and time again outside of Home Depot, Dustin.
Correct. But I tell loan originators, get shit done. So we start there. Like, it's your job to get a lead. Now, it's your job to have 200 realtors in your database, at which point you're marketing to them. What does marketing to them sound like? Well, you're calling them. You're inviting them to events. You're meeting with them. You're asking for referrals. You're sending your newsletter. You're engaged with them on social. If you don't have 200, then you got to get 200. Oh, but I don't know.
Oh, how am I going to get to 200? I only know 25 people. I can't get to 200.
Yeah. Do you not have Google?
Yeah, but
okay, you can Google, insert your city. Let's say it's Youngstown, Ohio. Okay. Top 5 real estate offices, Youngstown, Ohio. Go to every single one of those websites, look at their roster. Everyone on that roster, transfer their information onto an Excel spreadsheet. Do that times 5 or 7 real estate offices, and all of a sudden you have 20 names, 20 phone numbers, and 20 email addresses.
Holy shit, you're right.
You now have a call list. You can now call 12 a day. You can email 12 a day, all for the fact that you want to schedule a meeting so you can get to know them. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. If you study this, if you come coach with T-Lop, like you go through Originator Launch or you hop on Coach Gwen or Coach Rebecca or Coach Ross's calls, like they coach scripting, and we have training videos and resources, John, that you and I have produced over the years that will give people the what to say, the why to say it. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, even if you didn't know what to say, it doesn't mean you don't make your calls. I promise you, you will learn what to say by saying it less effectively 7 times, 17 times, 70 times, if you focus on getting 1% better.
How often, and like, in other industries like call centers, that people record your calls and you sometimes just sit with a manager and then they'll go over the call with you. Does that ever happen often in the mortgage industry?
Not often enough, and I would say next to never, including me. I could have been a way better leader, manager, if I were to actually had listened in on the calls and actually gone on more sales calls with my team. The problem is most of us as managers are producers, so we're consumed with our production. We think, well, no one had to teach me, so why do I have to teach them?
Yeah.
Like that's like someone saying, well, my dad wasn't involved in my life, so I don't have to be involved in my son's life. No, like just because your dad wasn't involved doesn't mean that you don't want to be a better dad than he was. Just because no one did for you doesn't mean that you don't want to do for others, right? That is why you and I have TLOP, right? It's my desire and it's your support for us to give what wasn't afforded to me when I was getting started. Like, I'm not mad or jealous. I'm like, no, but let's change the way things are. So no, John, not enough. Like, not enough times are they actually doing that. And if they did do that, they'd be more effective. It does work in the call center model. Like if you're in consumer direct, yes, you're probably accustomed to it. But if you're 100% commission, then no, 99 times out of 100, you probably don't have a manager that's listening in. So like other things that people say, what do you mean like just get shit done? I just taught a master class on one-to-many, right? And one-to-many to me is things like realtor lunch and learns. And we coach for a specific reason that if you're going to launch a lunch and learn, here's exactly how you do it. You pick a partner, step 1. You pick a date and a location, step 2. You pick a topic, step 3. You invite like crazy, step 4. You write your class, step 5.
Whoa. I thought I needed to come up with the class first, Dustin.
Yeah, that is what people who love to stall do. I promise you, if you have your partner, you have your location, you have your topic, and you've invited 200 people.
Oh, you're going to find out.
You are 1,000%. Yeah. So that's exactly why I coach it that way, because my philosophy is get shit done. We learn as we grow. I can't sit around and wait for things to be perfect. Like, and I'll give you a good example where I practice what I preach. This month, we're in May of 2025. I coached my second ever TLOP course for realtors.
Let's go.
Like that's a value. When you're a part of the TLOP coaching community, we are going to give you one coaching call per month that we do for your realtors. It's a reason for you to text, call, post on social to your list of 200 or 400 real estate agents that are either working with you or their targets or they're people that you're trying to build a relationship with. We're giving you a thing of value to give to them so we can invest in them in hopes that they want to invest back in you. Did I wait until August? Oh, let's wait till August until we get our platform done. And let's make sure we know exactly our cadence for giving our members the right scripts to use. And no, I literally said to my team, and Dr. Stacy can attest, I'm like, Stace, we're going to get this shit done. Like, put it on the calendar, let our members know. And I promise you, I will show up ready to perform and rock and roll. Now, did I show up with like 3 minutes to spare? I was like, pieces of paper everywhere. Yeah. But I took a deep breath. I took a step back. I performed and went really well. Then the next month was a little bit better. In June, I'm sure I'll be way better than I was in January, than I was in April and May. But like I practice what I preach, get shit done. But so few of us do that. And it's the most frustrating when you are a coach because it's like the saying, if there's a will, there's a way. I just saw a quote. We used it in the most recent TLOP newsletter, and I'm going to butcher it because I can't remember shit like this. But the quote was essentially, until you want success as bad as you want to breathe, you won't have it. I was like, damn, that's powerful. Right? Because if you said if you want success as bad as you want food, you can go a week or 2 weeks without food. You can't go 2 minutes without breathing. Unless you're super talented, then I'll say you can't go 7 minutes without breathing, let alone 7 or 14 days. And it's like, if you wanted that lead bad enough, nothing would get in your way.
I like thinking and saying out loud to myself in the mirror, I want the lead bad enough, Dustin, but like deep down in my heart, I'm not built for this shit. I'm just trying to get to the next paycheck.
You know what? Then be honest with yourself. Then be, and with others around you. Because I have no issue with that. My issue is when people are showing up and not getting better results, right? When they're raising their hand and asking for help. But I'm like, I just told you this 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, and 3 months ago.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say something different because I don't want to do all the stuff you're telling me to do that will lead me to success. Maybe there's something, maybe a different nugget you can tell me that will unlock the secret to success because I don't want to do all the shit you've been telling me to do, Dustin. So what should I do now?
I know 100+ individuals who make over $1 million in the mortgage industry. I interview top producers, whether they're on the show, whether they're panels at conferences. have been, will always be a top producer in whatever I do. I promise you, we are not any different. We are very ordinary. The only thing we do is the extra. We do the extra. Like, we show up more times than average. We invest more than the average, but we don't do anything different. We don't say or do anything different than what anyone else could do. But we are just a little bit extra. Then we allow that extra to compound daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And all of a sudden, if I did extra for 3 years and you haven't started doing extra yet, I'm 10 years ahead of you. I'm not 3 years ahead of you. I'm 10, right? Because I'm going to continue to do extra. So as you spend the next 3 years catching up, great, but I've doubled twice, right? So now I'm 12 years and you're 3 years. By the time you get to 12, I'm on year 24. Like, you're never going to catch up unless you find a way to do quadruple extra, at which point you could potentially catch up. You're only going to catch up when I slow down, right? And that's the mentality of most originators. I did a top producer interview for the men and women over at Lower, right? We do these things called high performance coaching calls. I coach twice a month, and then I moderate 2 other calls. So our LOs and branch managers are getting 4 coaching calls for free per month. And so I had on this lady, Ashton Mitchell. Shout out to Ashton. She's in South Carolina, crushed it, like 21 units last month for $4.6 million. And she's going to have her best year ever this year. I think she said her volume is going to be up like 40%. So pretty impressive, right? And anyhow, I loved asking this question. And I was like, hey, when did you feel like you made it? Do you know what her answer was?
I haven't made it yet, Dustin.
Every goddamn time I ask a top producer, when did you feel like you made it?
I haven't made it yet, Dustin. That's why I keep driving. And
yes. You know what the answer I want?
I did made it when I made $2 million last year. Get off my lawn, NIMBY.
Yes. 2 to 3 years. That's really what I want. But you know what? That's my answer. That's not their answer.
Yeah.
Right? Or I can say, you know what? I felt like I made it the minute I had enough money saved that if I never saved a dime again and I just let the Rule 72 work in my favor, right? That meant my money was going to double every 10 years. That I would be able to retire better than I ever thought I could retire if I trust the process. And I could only focus on things that were fun and excited me. Mm-hmm. Like, I could say that. So I'd give you 2 answers, which is it took me 2 years. So at like 2 to 3 years into it, I felt like I made it. Or that moment in my life, and I was around 40 when this happened, I did hit a savings goal. That is when I sold my book of business, because I was at a point in my career where I could afford to make a little bit less income. What I wanted to do was buy back my time, and I wanted more time to go be creative and start other projects and continuing to play the game. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to play at a different level. I couldn't do that when I was still stuck into production because it was a big time suck for me. But really it was, I knew that if I was unable to ever save another dime, as long as I didn't have to touch my savings, that money would double from 40 to 50, it'd double again from 50 to 60. And I knew that by 59 and a half, I could be retired and living off of the interest of the money that I had saved by 40. Mm-hmm. And I live a retired life better than I ever felt like I could. That was a pretty pivotal moment. But I still would agree with the Ashtons of the world. I still don't feel like I've made it because there's so much more that I want to achieve. But it's more about things I want to experience. So anyhow, let's get back on the perfection is the enemy of done. Like, I'll give you another example. When someone's like, I've been needing or wanting to do a newsletter. How fucking hard are newsletters? Mm-hmm. John, answer that for me.
Not hard.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
Now, a great newsletter may take you time.
Yeah.
But getting a newsletter done,
it's not hard.
I would coach you. It takes you 40 minutes. What's the best you can do in 40 minutes?
Most loan officers can't even turn on their damn laptop, Dustin. You know most of them are Luddites.
Like, they can't turn on their laptop. They might not be able to log into their CRM, right? And they're definitely going to botch trying to do some kind of a rate lock extension or a change of circumstance. I can promise you that. Right. They do know how to turn on their computer. But when I look at things like newsletters, I'm like, get that shit done. They're like, well, what do you mean by that? I said, if I had to explain this to you, okay, is the worst way to send a newsletter through Outlook where you send it to yourself and you blank carbon copy your entire distribution list? Yes, that's the worst way, except for there's a worse way than that. Never send one.
Not doing one.
Not doing one. And then I'm like, y'all, I need you to do whatever takes you 40 minutes or less. It needs to be about 160 words, about 3 minutes to read. All you really need is some kind of a soft open, like happy Friday. Oh my gosh, I hope you're enjoying this spring weather. I don't have that much planned for this weekend. That means I'll be around for you and your buyers. Reminder, here's my cell phone number. Space. This is what happened in the market this week. Thumbs up, thumbs down. This is what we're watching next week. And if X happens, it could be bad for rates. If Y happens, it could be good for rates.
Yay.
Here's a sales tip that I recently came across that I think you could benefit from. Where did I find that sales tip? I asked my friend ChatGPT to give me 20 quick sales tips specifically for real estate agents based on the advice of the 5 best sales training companies that specialize in realtor training.
Yeah.
I then found a motivational quote. I then closed it out with some kind of a call to action, and I clicked send. Now, eventually, I'll start leveraging MailChimp or Beehive. Eventually, I'll add some graphics, right? Eventually, I will be able to do in 40 minutes better than I originally was able to do. But it's like, get that shit done. At least get a newsletter sent. I don't know what to say. I'm like, so you did nothing, right? That's another thing. So that was my soapbox about newsletters. But like, I'm like, hey, did you call those 10 realtors I gave you?
No.
Well, I didn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say, so I just didn't call them, and then I just looked online at these programs, products, and guidelines.
Yes. Oh, no, here's my worst. Well, I couldn't because we had that new product rollout and I want to do the training. What? Again, why are you doing product rollout trainings when you don't have any leads?
Because I'm fearful and I suck at my real job, Dustin. That's why. God damn it. That's what you wanted to hear?
Look, even this. There are mortgage brokers out there that make a living at going up to UWM, right? Because it's a fun time, right? They got Club Marriott going out at 10 p.m. and y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been up there, right? So they got Club Marriott and they paid for my flight and they made me feel special. I'm like, yeah, but if you're not generating leads and closing business, your job is not to go to UWM every 3 months and get your learn on. Your job is to go out and build referral relationships, figure out a way to market and advertise your services so you can generate leads, so you can turn those leads into closings, so you can make money. Your reward is allowing yourself to go to UWM for their next big event or next big training. And I think sometimes we just allow our fears and insecurities to get in the way of what really needs to happen, which is get shit done, sell, market, network, generate a lead, convert those leads into loans, make money. Right? Once you start doing that, but it takes a certain mentality, and I think that mentality is what we're preaching about, which is just get the shit done. And I promise you, if you start doing, you'll get better. Like, you'll get better, or you may have to get committed to an insane asylum. Because why would you continue doing the same thing over and over and over again if you're not getting the intended result?
It's called marriage.
Is that called marriage? I thought that was Einstein's definition of insanity.
That shit don't make sense. If you really think about that, that shit don't make no sense. Doing the same thing over and over again, I hate that
and
trope.
Expecting a different result.
I hate that trope.
Well, but
Einstein's a fool.
No, not. No, he may have had learning disabilities, but he wasn't a fool. He was a genius. But I love that because it is true. Now, if you do the same thing over and over again, maybe it's because you love the result, right? Pack bowl, light weed, smoke bowl, feel good.
Live life.
Like John has no issues going on.
If more people live their life like that, if more people out there would stop trying to become top producers and just be happy with your 4 to 5 fucking loans a month, just live your goddamn life. You know why? Because they will never accomplish $100 million. So stop striving for it. Ain't nothing wrong with 50 million, 20 million. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But you know what? When you see the numbers, not enough for doing 4 to 5.
Oh, really?
Like, that's what we're doing over at T-Lop Coaching.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're supporting $100 million producers.
Oh, damn.
I'm investing in producing branch managers. We're talking about how to manage, how to lead, how to recruit and produce all at the same time.
Mad bips.
But when you look at the data right now, the data coming out of ICE, I just saw this. It was in Barry Habib's presentation. I've seen other people produce it as well. So few
really
are actually doing 4 to 5 units a month.
Get out of here.
So few. Yeah. So if you're doing 4 to 5 units in today's market, it's like doing 100 units a year in a normal market.
Right.
And normal to me at this point, because nothing's been normal about the 2020s, you'd have to go back to let's run it from 14 through 19. So 2014, 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, like those 6 years. And those 6 years, take volume out because the average loan size doubled between 2014 and 2020. But if you looked at units, Yeah, 100 units to me, you're a top producer. So right now, if you're doing 4 to 5 units, that's 48 to 60 units a year. You're pretty darn close in a more normalized market where 20% of your business is refi and more people are listing their homes. Therefore, there's more buyer transactions to be had. I think you're close to doing 100. And when you're doing 100, that's when you probably need an LOA. You're doing 4 to 5. You don't need an LOA. You need to be better. But that's not for today's episode, right? Today's episode is just my encouragement in general for whoever need to hear this message.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way. Take a deep breath. Take a step back. And then put your head down, blinders on, and get that shit done. Trust the process. Trust that you don't know what you're doing, and that's okay. Trust that you're not good, but you're going to get good by doing. But what you don't do is you don't wait until you can figure out what to say. You don't wait until you hire the right marketing agency to get that newsletter. You don't need a marketing agency for a newsletter, right? Social media content. Maybe one day you aspire to have a content team, but in the interim, start doing content. Just do the best you can do 30 to 45 minutes per day. It's part of your marketing activities, your advertising activities is the content that you produce. Don't know what to say? That's fine. Say something. If you say something daily, I promise if you're focused on getting 1% better, you'll get really good at saying things online as long as you're doing. But what you can't do is let that little scared child that lives deep inside your core throw up barriers and walls to protect you. Because protecting you prevents you from ultimately achieving the success you desire. You dancing to that?
No, it was fucking hilarious.
What's the matter? Am I pulling your little child out?
No, get the fuck.
You buried that guy a long time ago.
Died when I was still a child. Buried him.
Buried him.
What the hell?
Buried him.
Weak people. But hey, thank you so much, Dustin. This has been such an inspiring 40 minutes of my life. You know what I'm gonna do with this news and this newfound energy? Pack a bowl and drive home. So with that, go say your plugs. Visit us at tlaponline.com. If you need coaching, get coached by Do. But we also have like some other dub coaches. So like hit us up. Be on the lookout for like some free webinars that we'll be doing. Like Jamie Miller's is coming up. It's dope. I don't know if we probably already passed it, but whatever. If you missed it, you missed out. So become a member of tlaponline.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. What else do you ramble about at the end? Oh yeah, we're on Spotify and YouTube. If you listen to us on Apple, thank you. But don't forget we have a YouTube channel. There's like new videos going up like every day of like the weekdays. So like be sure to look out for that. If you want to book us, don't be shy. Reach out to Dustin, pay for his flight, but totally forget about me and just ask about me when Dustin's there and I'm not. Get him a hoodie. He wears size large. I wear medium. Doesn't matter because y'all won't send me one. And yeah, that's about it. He's Dustin Noah. I'm John Coleman. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.